A new era is about to begin for the Apex Racing League as the inaugural season of the ARL IZOD IndyCar Series kicks off with round 1 on the picturesque Watkins Glen circuit in the United States. Large grids and close racing should be the order of the day here as these powerful single-seaters blast around the 3.4 mile circuit. My co-commentator AC Simps is alongside me as usual, and AC, what can we expect from today's race?
I think we're going to have a really interesting race. I mean, a massive grid in comparison to anything we've ever seen on ARL before, so 30 odd cars. I just think there's going to be races galore going on. I think whoever you are, you're going to have someone on an equal footing, equal sort of ability level to you to race throughout the race, so I think we're going to have a very action-packed race all the way through the field.
Track itself is very, very steeped in history. It hosted the United States Formula 1 Grand Prix for 19 years and continues to be home to a lot of different racing series, including the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series, which runs on the short configuration. We've got the boot layout today, AC, and what are the challenges of that compared to the Cup configuration?
Yeah, well, the boot layout's a little bit longer. Obviously, we've got the complete different section. We're also running the chicane as well, so, or the bus stop, however you want to call it, just before the carousel. And yeah, I mean, a fantastic track, Watkins. Raced it plenty of times myself, and it's definitely a favourite now. I only really did it when I was being on iRacing, and yeah, fell in love with the layout. So gives you the opportunities to overtake. It's a driver's track for sure. I mean, you can, you know,
It's already a problem there for someone.
yeah, in free practice there. I'm not sure who that was. I'll have a look back at that in a second. But yeah, fantastic layout, good opportunities to overtake. 3 or 4 different places. You got obviously turn 1 at the top of the hill, coming into the bus stop. Then there's like a back straight hairpin as well that you can have a go into as well. So, and there are a couple other more that are a bit more risky, but we might see some in those corners towards the ends of the race, I would think. But yeah, I mean, the other key thing to point out as well is that over above any ARL iRacing series now, so the race distance is long enough that we have to have a pit stop as well, so
Yep.
not mandatory. So if somebody can make it all the way who's conserving fuel, I'm not sure it's actually possible. I think the Dallara is going to eat all that up before the end of the race.
Yeah, this is 30 laps, so we're going to be relying on guys to save their fuel and tyres. Possibly be careful with it. I don't think you can make it on one run.
No, I mean, it's going to be different
to.
It's going to be interesting to see what goes on with strategy as well, because obviously that throws in there with the cars obviously being a fixed setup. They have a fixed amount of fuel to start with, so I'm thinking, you know, there might be some guys decide to run quite long and just have a splash at the end. There might be some guys that pit quite early and get onto the fresh rubber or halfway through, something like that. So it could be some real variance of strategy out there, and it would be interesting to see how that pans out for the race.
This is going to be such a big leap for the Apex Racing League in terms of quality of competition and single-seater action on iRacing. It's the first single-seat championship that we've had here, and I think it's the first of what could be a very popular series. We've had a lot of people signing up to this one. A few guys naturally couldn't make it as we look at the queue of cars going out for qualifying, Alex.
Yeah, everyone's scrambling just to get themselves a reasonably clear lap. I think they've all failed there, apart from the guy who got out first. So
That was Darren Kirk, apparently. That was our esteemed founder, so got himself some clear track. He had the last pit lane box.
that's going to be the thing with qualifying, really. I mean, it's all going to be about finding the room, finding the gap. I mean, 30 cars on the grid. I mean, we were expecting somewhere along the lines of, well, we were expecting to fill up all the grid spots, actually 42. So, you know, we've got a few drivers that couldn't turn up today. You know, in the most part, everyone confirmed that they either could or couldn't race for the series. So we had 1 or 2 that didn't let us know either way, which is always a little bit disappointing, but probably what we expect from a new league. You know, just shout out to the guys now. Just you know, we put a lot of time and effort. Just let us know if you can or can't make the race. Yeah. And you know, we'll make sure we hold the position open for you. So
I'm sure a few more of those guys will end up Look at this action in qualifying already. Everybody fighting for a spot. As yeah, we've got a 15-minute qualifying session here. So Alex's strategy to burn the fuel off in this fix-up?
Well, yeah, being a hosted session rather than like an official series, the guys will be out there now. I mean, they'll be trying to put hot laps in now, but they want to burn the fuel out. And with about 5 to go, I would assume they're going to come in, get themselves a fresh set of boots, and go out and have a bit of an onslaught, try and get as quick time as possible with the fresher rubber and slightly lighter car. Important thing for people will be not to make a mistake, so they're forced to come in the pits and get a fresh car. So obviously unlimited fast toast, that option's open to them. But that's the key thing in quali, is keep the same car that you've got and burn that fuel down as much as possible. If someone loses
there's somebody who won't be keeping the same car all the way through qualifying, I don't think. Into the barriers there.
I think that's one of the Team ART cars, so it's either Wim or Kevin, I think. So.
As for those new to IndyCar AC, then what's IndyCar all about?
Well, IndyCar's single-seater, fast, action-packed racing. I mean, the cars are absolutely equal. At this point, we're running a fixed setup series, so they have the same horsepower, the same setup, the same fuel in the car at the start of the race. So you're not going to get any closer competition than you are in this series, to be fair. The cars don't quite have the same sort of levels of downforce as the Formula 1 car, or the I say all the horsepower, but they do. So I mean, they are as fast as, it's just the physical downforce they've not got. But the race in here will be just as exciting as any Formula 1 race, purely because everybody's running the same piece of kit. So it's yeah, it's going to be a fantastic race, and you know, the driver who wins is he's going to be the best driver on the day. So it's not going to be about the car, the best car that wins. You know, everything's equal. You know, some of the other leagues that we've featured before, we've had a lot of controversy over these cars being better on long runs and these ones on short runs and this and that. These are completely equal. It's the same car, it's the same setup, it's everything is identical, and it's just the liveries, you know, which the guys have gone and painted themselves.
Yep, and that's a great thing about iRacing. You know, you got all the custom skins and team colours on show, and I'm sure we'll see some good ones, and we can point those out as we go along. And there's Kevin Parrish then.
Yep, provisionally sitting P1.
He's a very fast driver, as you know.
Yeah, Kevin's featuring quite strongly in the.
Off goes the green car there. Alex in the background.
Yeah, the GoDaddy car. I think could be Sam Peacock. I'm not 100% sure.
He's alright, to be honest.
It's
going to take some getting used to.
So many new cars and so many new drivers just to get used to, and obviously lots of custom liveries where they might change a little bit as well. So just having a look at the list now. Yeah, there's
there's a spinner there. A couple of corners away from. Well, I'm not sure who that was. Looks suspiciously like one of the Team ARL cars. Not sure it was or not, but you know, could have been.
Kevin there, perhaps just getting a little bit held up there on his lap, but he's still sitting provisional pole, so he'll be happy with that. So I mean, there's a lot of good drivers in the in this league as well that have signed up. So I mean, all sorts of I-rated drivers. I mean, I think the top guys were sitting at about 5,000, and the bottom guys are sort of around about 1,100. So there's a really good split of driver caliber. So as I said earlier, there should be somebody for everybody to race in this series. So like I say, I think the on-track action is going to be brilliant. So
we got a good look at one of the Durex Motorsport cars there as well. Aaron Mullen, his teammate, I believe, is Ben Horrell, as usual, is the team founder there.
Yeah, Ben, unfortunately not being able to make this race. I know he missed out on the V8 supercars as well, and I think that's got something to do with some sort of house move, I think he said to me, or broadband issue. So hopefully we'll see him for round 2.
As we've got here, I think that's Kevin Parrish again, taking a place in qualifying, going off the track, nearly hitting the wall, so it's almost a disaster for him.
I think he has made some contact with the wall there, so I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see him duck on in the pit lane here. And this is what I was saying earlier on, is that guys need to make sure that they finish the same car, you know, and the same parts on it, because otherwise you're going to have to... oh no, he does continue on, so... But, yeah, it's ever so costly if you have to refuel, so you need to go through that fuel burning phase.
We've got a few ARL veterans in this race, and one of them there is Alex Hardy, who's been a winner in our other leagues before.
Yeah, won in both the Mazda Rookie League and the Street Stock League, I believe, last season, so getting out the way of Kevin, I think, there.
Much faster equipment this time round though, mate. I think somewhere in the region of 600 horsepower. And like I said, these cars are so fast. You know, they've got higher top end speed than a Formula 1 car. Not quite as much grip like you say, but very similar in terms of lap time. You probably only find 5-6 seconds or so around the track like this, would you say?
I'm not entirely sure what the F1 cars are doing now. I've got a feeling they're around about the 23, so it's about...
Oh,
Kevin
Parrish
this time.
smashing the wall, so that will ruin his qualifying.
He'll definitely have to come in and get a fresh car now, so...
Be more fuel for him to carry.
Yeah, I think around this sort of track where there's a lot... It's very aero dependent, there's a lot of sort of medium speed corners. I think the F1 car will win out, but... places that are... You know, particularly long straights and things, you don't find a great difference between the two cars. But I'm not trying to say that the Indy cars are as fast, because they are not, by no means on a normal track circuit. But certainly similar sort of strategies, setups, things like that. All are affected. So you approach an Indy race just as you would an F1 race.
Yep. And we're expecting qualifying. We're expecting pole to be roughly high 131s, possibly mid 131s, but that's probably pushing it a little bit.
Yeah, Sam did a 31.4, I think, in free practice, but that was on low fuel. So
there's a car in the escape road there. Quite sure who that was.
Keeping himself out of the way. Yeah, so that was on low fuel, so I'm not sure we're going to get to be able to burn out quite as much fuel at that point. Jamie Byrne sitting in 8th place at the moment. Again, yeah, another new member.
Good solid time for him so far.
And John Monroe, a veteran from last season as well, sitting himself in 14th at the moment.
Yeah, Johnny's had a bit of ups and downs with this car, but you know, he's a quick driver, he's a very young driver, so I'm sure we'll be able to see good things from him as the season goes on. I think he's one with a lot of talent for the future.
Sam Peacock there, that was Sam earlier on in the GoDaddy car as well. So
great looking car.
He featured very, very strongly last season. I think he had the opportunity to finish top 5 in the overall standings, but he should have taken the Division 3 title, but just didn't turn up at Mid-Ohio for some unknown reason. But yeah, he definitely got some good ability, and I would expect him to sort of feature strongly throughout the season.
It's one of the Team ARL cars over near the wall.
Just on board with
who that is, I don't really see that.
Sam Kumo there, 3rd place in Team Positive, I believe.
Yep, great name for a team. That's the way to think when you're approaching a race like this, I think.
Yep, from Finland, and I believe his teammate is Jerome as well, so they're sitting pretty strongly at the moment in the standings, so I'll be happy with that.
Good to see Luke Dowding up there. That's one of our drivers from last season. Currently 7th in qualifying, so good start from him. Kevin Veckermans did a good start as well. John Monroe 16th. Kurt Partridge, another ARL veteran, 17th. Sam Kumo then, looking like he's on his merry way. No traffic in front of him, so it's good for him now. Tim Doyle, he's one of the big men in this car, isn't he, Alex?
Oh, absolutely. Very surprising to see him down in 21st place at the moment. So, I haven't seen Tim do any official races in the fixed class series. So I wouldn't be surprised if this isn't the first time that he's run the fixed series on the new tyre model this week. So might be just having a little struggle just to get used to the car. Obviously, it's quite pushy in comparison to what all the open sets are going out at the moment. So. Yeah, it just goes to show even the best need to have a few laps worth of practice as he's struggling out there at the moment.
It's funny though, he's struggling down in 20th, but he's looking fast around the track, so I don't know whether he's just making the odd little mistake here or there. Kevin Clay, another strong driver, American driver from Ohio. There's a car crashed off there at the side of the track. I'm not sure who that is. Disappears quickly. Alex Harding.
Yeah, Kevin Click, another driver featuring quite strongly in the official series at the moment, so I think he's got himself in the top 10, so he'll be happy with how the official series is going, and I'm guessing he's going to hope to repeat that here today.
I'm excited about this one, mate. It's going to be brilliant. I think we've got a lot of terrific talent in this race, and it's going to be close in the qualifying times. So, well, anything could happen.
Yeah, just if you just give us a rundown of the order at the moment, just so we can see as the ticker goes through.
Yep, Alex Simpson, and then followed by Kevin Parrish, Sam Kumo, Jeroen Ganzerveld, Sam Peacock 5th, Oscar Hardwick 6th, another ARL veteran, Luke Downing in 7th, Russell Klassen 8th, Jamie Byrne 9th, just over a second outside, Sasso Prosen 10th, Kevin Click, then Guido Mora, Kevin Veckermans 13th, Wim Stockmans 14th, Nicholas Maynard 15th, then Ted Sevens, John Monroe, Alex Harding, Kurt Partridge, Tim Doyle is 20th, Andrew Woodhouse is 21st, Leon Williams 22nd, then Josh Hammett, Aaron Mullen 24th in the Durex car, Eric Davis 25th in that beautiful Williams camel type skin, Ashley Butler 26th, John Hill 27th, Ian Partridge 28th, and Darren Kirk 29th.
Not much covering them at the moment, we've just got a little over a minute to go, so nice to see John Hill making it to the grid. I know from Inside Sim Racing obviously let us know that he's just recovering from back surgery, so good to see him on the track.
Couple of ARL guys here on last fast lap in qualifying as Nick Maynard has a bit of a problem.
Andrew Woodhouse in the Team ARL car, so it's ARL.
Oh, he's caught that one up there.
I was just about to say ARL are fielding 4 cars at the moment, but we're missing one. The it happens to be the League Supermod. Couldn't make the first round. I'm not quite sure what that was all about, and
probably alcohol related.
It's dedication to the cause that is there. So yeah, if anybody has my permission to take the mick out of him on the forums, and you know, just don't listen to him. Really, can't turn up to the first race. So
no, we might ban him if he misses another one. Yeah, Alex Simpson here, P1 at the minute with 10 seconds left in qualifying. He might get another lap in here. ARL fielding, like I say, 4 cars, 2 team ARL cars. Alex Simpson, Andrew Woodhouse, and then El Equipo de Novatos. It's the rookie team.
This is what you're here for, pronouncing all the names, because I would just been completely lost there. So Alex got Kevin right behind him here, and they're both on a hot lap. I'm wondering if this is going to be sensible, because there's a certain amount of slipstream that could go on here. So
depends if the man who's currently sat on pole could improve, but he's obviously decided he can't. Sasso Prosen. He's had a decent qualifying so far, 11th place. And to be honest, AC, anything in the top 10 is very good in this company, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I mean, I would think that the top 10 here are all going to get into the 32s, which, from what I've seen of the official series this week, most of those guys are going to feature in the top 5 of any official race. With these, so most times seem to be sort of 33, so
it is indeed exactly the top 10 that are in the 32s, everybody else just outside, but there's only like 5/10 separating Sasso Prosen, who's 11th, and Andrew Woodhouse in 21st.
Yeah,
That's
Kevin
tells
just
you how
coming
close it'll
across.
be.
I don't think he improved his time there,
I
but
don't know, I think he might have done. He's up to 7th.
Russell stays in 9th by the looks of it. Alex still sitting P1, so Kevin didn't manage to improve on that lap. He was behind him as well. That's probably partly down to the fact that he was running that heavier car because he had to pit in after wrecking it halfway through quali, so he'll be a little bit frustrated by himself there, I would think.
Good performance by the Finnish driver, Sam Kumo, 3rd place. Oscar Hardwick will be pleased with 5th as well. He's a very talented English driver. Quite a lot of good English talent in this race actually, which I'm quite pleased of. Obviously Apex Racing League founded in England, but got members from, well, most countries around the world nowadays.
Yeah, it's good to see. I mean, obviously it helps with the time being perfect for the English at 8 o'clock, so it's why we get a lot, but fair few European drivers as well as those from America as well, setting down at about sort of 3 o'clock time, so it's a good time for a lot of drivers. And but yeah, the bulk are English here, which is great to see. You know, not
Look at
always,
this grid fill up.
yeah, don't always feature so strongly in the Indy races from my view, but yeah, certainly here today there's a good showing. So but
Maybe
yeah,
we should convince some of these guys to take up the IndyCar full time.
30 car grid we're going to have today, and that is looking particularly big, if I have to say
It's
so
a
myself.
long way from the front to the back. A long way.
So Alex and Kevin, they've featured in a couple of official races already this week, so both of them taking a victory off of each other, so in what was some pretty side-by-side action, so I would expect that they are going to have one heck of a battle here today, and I know Sam is equal to their ability as well, so I would expect him to sit right with them as well, so I would think we're going to have a really close 3-car battle. Jerome looks just a little bit off from his teammate, but not a great deal, but only a couple of tenths, but that might just be enough that the three guys at the front can break off, but the pack from there on out, there looks like there's nothing between them, so it could be nip and tuck, and anyone could get a sort of top 5 from, I don't know, as far back from 5th to sort of 20th, I would say, looking at that grid.
It looks like 2 cars haven't made it to the grid. Well, 1 has now made it, so just 1 car will be starting from the pit lane then. So we're about to go, well, the green light is about to go on signal the start of the formation lap. For those who don't know, rolling start in the IndyCar series, so quickly give a little shout out to the sponsors, GT Omega Racing, Sim News Daily, and of course iRacing.
Yeah, just so you guys are all aware, obviously GT Omega are putting up some prizes for this as well, so part of the premium membership on ARL, you can win yourself a rig or a wheel stand. iRacing putting in some credits, and Simnew Daily helping support the site whenever he can, which is always greatly appreciated.
As we sort of cycle through the field, Sam Kumo there, team positive. His teammate there, Joran Gansveld. He's also there, Oscar Hardwick, 42 car, Torrent Motorsports.
Yeah, 32.5, you'll be delighted with that time.
Sam Peacock in the GoDaddy car, Kevin Click, we said from Ohio. Luke Dowding, one of our veterans in the Wrigley's Extra sponsored car. Russell Classen, 55. Jamie Byrne, it was good qualifying from him, one from Connecticut, 22 car, Sasso Prost, 99. He lines up in 11th, and Ted Sevens, Guido Mora, he's in the pits.
One of the drivers who's starting from the pit lane decided it's probably safer. I mean, there's a lot of cars on that grid.
Maybe not such a bad idea. Kevin Veckerman's the number 9 car, Wim Stockman's in the 33.
Yep, teammates side by side.
Nick Maynard in the 30 car. I think everybody up to about here will fancy their chances in the end. John Monroe in the 21, the young Scotsman. He'll be happy with that qualifying, I would think. Alex Harding in the 8 car. Another ARL veteran, like we mentioned, alongside another one, Kirkpatrick. Tim Doyle, one of the best IndyCar drivers on iRacing. Unfortunately, down in 20th place. Alongside Andrew Woodhouse, with Liam Williams in the 15 car behind him. Next in line, Aaron Mullen for Durex. That's still not a bad effort from him. Not too far off the pace of the midfield run as Josh Hammett in the 66 car. Eric Davis in the 65. Nice looking livery for him. Behind him, Ashley Butler, another English driver. Then Darren Kirk, ACR, our illustrious leader. Decent effort in qualifying there, ahead of John Hill. And at the back of the field to lead us away is Ian Partridge, father of Kurt, and they're in the same team together. Alex has nicely liveried Havilland cars in Mansell style.
Yep, Newman Haas, 93 star skin, looking lovely.
You might remember that one, I don't.
Sure do.
But I'm sure. I'm sorry, I had to do that. As soon as the pace car's ready to come round the final corner. And our season's going to kick off here at Watkins Glen. The ARL IndyCar Series is about to go green, green, green.
It's a great start from Alex there. Looks like he's got a little break on Kevin, enough to defend into the first corner.
29 cars streaming down to turn 1 here at Watkins Glen. Brilliant already.
I see some smoke in the background. Looks like we've got an incident further back in the pack there. We'll perhaps have to replay that in a moment. But Kevin taking a look round the outside of Alex going into the bus stop.
Parish looking round the outside into the bus stop. That will be very brave indeed. And he's not stupid enough to try that on the first lap of 30. He runs a little bit wide, clips the grass, and he allows Sam Kumo to get a run on him. He will have the inside line though for the downhill left-hander. It's quite tricky. Second gear. Alex Simpson will be very happy with those two fighting behind him. And then you've got Kumo. And then it was a good start, I think. So Oscar Hardwick comes to fourth.
Oscar's got himself up to fourth in front of Jerome there. And as we just have a replay of the start of the race here, so we'll see what's gone on in the first few corners.
It was a clean start by everybody up front,
like
at least.
The front half seemed to have got through turn 1 okay.
Then we get to the middle, and big crash at the back, and then another big crash in the middle. So that was a couple of cars involved there. That's Andrew Woodhouse hitting a parked car. But we've got, I think it was the two.
John Monroe got collected in that as well somewhere.
Is that Team ART?
I think that was Team ART. I think in the middle they sort of got themselves, it almost looked like they were 3 wide going up into the S's, and that was, yeah, I'm afraid to say the teammates looked like they hit each other there and caused that big pile up in the middle. But I think the first turn, by the look of it, it looked like it was Darren got caught up, and Ian Partridge
smashed him. Fortunately, left his braking a little too late. Oh, and there's another crash there at the back. Looks like that's Kevin Click involved in that one. He qualified well. And at the minute, that's not looking too good for the American.
Yeah, and that's Sam Peacock there, just recovering back to the track, and it looks like Kevin Click was.
It's like he didn't know where he could go, where he was going there.
Yeah, almost. I think he's going to escape. I think he's going to escape back to the pits there.
Front 5 locked together already. First round of the ARL IZOD IndyCar Series here at Watkins Glen in the United States, just outside New York.
Yeah, I think there's a slight little glitch with the overlay system. It's showing Alex in second place at the moment, and Kevin in third, but we know that's not true. The ticker's accurate and up to date, so just apologies for that.
Great to see the Team ARL car out in front at this early stage.
Yeah, the whole I think the whole team will be delighted that Alex has been able to put it up there and feature strongly for this one. Nice little advertisement for the new and upcoming team,
and for the sponsors as well. Oscar Hardwick's done a great start as well. I'm sure Torrent Motorsports are going to be very happy with one of their newest drivers, up into 4th place. Good start from him.
Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate that his teammate Ricard couldn't join him for the first race, but we've been assured that he'll be here for round 2 at Road America. So as Jerome perhaps have a little look at Oscar, but again we'll just focus on the leaders going through the bus stop, and we have a bit of
an arty slow motion shot here.
The driver's skimming the apexes. Kevin right on the tail of Alex there.
Great replay shot there. Great camera work. As it just shows how close those two are coming through. Sam Kuma looked like he was getting a little bit out of shape actually through there, which is very easy to do. These three guys, well, this battle is raging. So on lap 3.
Yeah, Kevin definitely trying to put as much pressure on Alex as possible at this point.
I'm not sure he's likely to crack. It takes a lot to derail him from his concentration.
Yeah, he's been involved in a fair few battles in his time, so I know that he should be able to hold out. He'll be just focusing on getting his braking points right, hitting the apexes of the corners, just making it as difficult as possible for Kevin to try and make a move.
He's had battles with Kevin Parrish in the past. I say in the past, just this last week. He's had battles with the Americans, so I'm sure that this one will be a good one. As we've got England, followed by America, followed by Finland.
Sorry there, I have a little feeling Sam's perhaps just sitting back here, just a couple of car lengths further back than what he would do normally, just to see what goes on between these guys, see if Kevin puts a move up, and you know, if they collect each other, he certainly won't want to get involved in it. So, you know, perhaps a bit of smart driving here, staying in contention, but just waiting to see what these guys do and how they react, and if any of them have a crash or come together.
Yep, and that looks increasingly likely as they're very close together now, as Jeroen Ganterveld was putting pressure on Oscar Hardwick. We're on board now with the battle for 6th.
As Luke runs wide through the
Downey,
bus stop.
Wide. He will regain it. But he's lost a few positions there. I think he lost one to Kurt Partridge.
Yeah, he'll be a bit frustrated about that at this early stage, but the most important thing is that he recovered and he's only lost a few seconds, and he's just going to have to fight his way back through this pack. But Luke's a good, solid driver, and I'm sure he'll be up to the challenge, and he'll certainly enjoy trying to give it a go for sure.
Yeah, about 3 seconds lost there for Luke Downey, and 3 positions incidentally as well. But that sort of mistake can easily happen at the bus stop chicane, Alex. It's not the easiest.
Yeah, it's
not
worth,
the easiest corner.
No, it's not at all, and it's worth pointing out, obviously some of the drivers will be a little bit frustrated with making these little mistakes as well, because the way the point system works, you do get penalised if you have more than 10 incidents per race. You actually physically lose 1 championship point. So, you know, the drivers will be trying to keep it as tidy as possible, avoid the accidents wherever they can, and avoid the off tracks, so we won't have anybody sort of clipping curbs and corners and things like that, trying to eke out a little bit of time. Obviously the game penalises you anyway for it, so you can get physical slowdown penalties, but there won't be any corner cutting or anything like that going on. No, won't be touching the grass at all, because you've got to do that 10 times and bang, you've got a championship point gone on you.
Yep, for those who don't know, very quickly, the iRacing awards incident points for the first, well, as we just look at this replay, this is John Munro. It's a lovely move on Eric Davis there. Can he make it stick?
Looks like he got a little bit wide, and Eric's got the run out, run through the S's side by side. John perhaps backs out of that wisely as well, I think.
Yeah, it's good driving there on a pair of them.
Not easy to go side by side through there, not flat out and be safe. So I think John perhaps decided to have a go at that a little bit later on. Luke's putting a little bit of
racing by Eric Davis though to make the undercut.
Yeah, calm and sensible driving. Just Luke.
Here goes Luke Dowding.
Yep, getting one of those positions back from earlier on.
Do we know who the driver is there? He's gone past.
I'm not entirely sure who that is.
To see is that Jamie Byrne possibly? No, it's not. He's in a red car. I'm not sure who that is.
Yep, I'm sure we'll learn the driver's car liveries and numbers pretty soon and be able to give you a better idea.
As Luke Dowding goes over the start-finish line, yeah, back to the...
Looking at it, actually, I think it could have been Nick Maynard. Looking at this, looking at me,
Nick Maynard.
The driver's list.
Oscar Hardwick fighting the car. He's been passed by Jeroen there.
Yeah, it must have been... Did that just happen, or was that off camera? Sorry, I was just looking at the driver's lineup sheet.
Must have been off camera. But yeah, just quickly to... reiterate that iRacing penalises you 1 incident point for going off the track. That means sometimes it's not all four wheels off, is it? It's just one or two sometimes. You get an off-track penalty. 2 points for a spin or a light contact, and then 4 points for a contact with another car. Usually that is. Those penalties can vary, but usually that's what they're awarded.
Once you get a total of 10 points, then you'll get 1 championship point deducted.
And that's not a subjective thing. That will be in that is inbuilt into the scoring system. So there are no debates about how many incident points a certain driver has or has not gained. So as we get on to lap 7, then Alex Sims still leading Kevin Parrish, Sam Kumo.
Yeah, nip and tuck these three, nothing between them, but they've dropped.
They've left
to
everyone.
Oscar and Jerome there. Yeah, they seem like about 5 or 6 seconds back at this point. Just missed it as the ticker went by there.
Yeah, I think you're right. Just see them coming into the chicane now. So looks like Sam Kumo's just sitting back. He seems to lose a little time through the chicane there, but he seems to gain that back in the infield. As Kevin Parrish is all over the back of that ARL car. Miles Blood does the American. As Kevin Click fighting his way back through.
Yeah,
as Eric Davis and John Monroe again side by side through the S's. It's not maybe a safe thing to do. John Monroe tries to go to he's not covering the inside though. He might be prey to an attack now from Davis into the bus stop. No, Monroe holds the line well from Davis, then Kevin Click, and I think is that one of the ART guys? The red car?
Yeah, I think that might be Wim Stockman trying to fight his way back as well.
He obviously, Stockman's obviously didn't get the worst of that in the first lap. These guys all down below 20th place, unfortunately, though.
Yeah, Kevin fighting back from that earlier incident with Sam Peacock, so he did indeed retire to the pit and get towed, so that'll probably set him back a lap or so. So it'll be a bit frustrating and trying to work his way back through the field.
Yep, again we've got to do our best to try and explain everything to people. New guys to the league is his Sam Kumo having a look at Kevin Parrish down into the chicane. Oh, he's gone off the track, so that'll be a 1 point to his tally.
Yeah, and by the looks of it, he's actually got a slowdown penalty as well there. So he has indeed just had the confirmation as well that he actually had a slowdown penalty there. So that's going to be
50 miles an hour.
2 or 3 seconds he's going to lost, and his teammates almost caught back up to the back of him. So he went for a bit
of a disaster for Sam.
Yeah, he went for the move there, and didn't pay off, and perhaps should have got out of a little earlier. Kevin had the inside line covered there, but he thought he might be able to stick it around the outside, but unfortunately comes off worse.
Still a long race, and unfortunately that his chance of a win may have evaporated. We'll see though, still a long way to go, still pit stops to be made.
Yep. Oh, Wim and...
That was Eric Davis.
Wim and Eric there getting together.
They'll both need to retire to the pits and get a new vehicle as Russell Claeson's been turned around there. Not sure who by.
I think Russell was losing it on the way out of the corner there, and unfortunately driver just coming past just helped him around. I'm not sure he got any damage, but Russell certainly looks like he took a knock there.
Here's Alex Harding then. 19th. It's about where he qualified, but he must have got caught up in that. As there's a car crabbing along. Is that Ian Partridge's car? Possibly. 100% sure it looked like one of those Newman Haas cars. The Haviland team.
Yeah, Alex here, just not sure who is behind at this point.
It's a 99 car.
I believe Alex...
I'll just let you know quickly, sorry.
Is of...
Was it the 89 car? Ashley Butler, I think.
I think it is the 99 car. Blue. Oh no, you are right, it is Ashley Butler, sorry, my mistake.
I don't think... I looked and I think it's my shoddy eyesight that I didn't see that was the 89, not the 99, but Alex Harding's through regardless into 18th place, so good for him. Might be actually 17th place now. that they passed that stricken car on the side of the road.
Ashley was one of the, and Alex, sorry, were one of the drivers that got caught up in that turn, in between turn 1 and 2.
Yep.
So, you know, he's just trying to fight his way back through the pack and salvage some points from this race.
It was a bit of a melee those first couple of corners, that's for sure.
Alex Simpson built himself a 1.6, 1.7 second gap over Kevin now as well, so following the battle he had with Sam.
Oh, and of course, Alex Harding. Sorry, AC there. Change of position. Oh,
and he's come straight back past Ashley, so bad and good driving all in one go there.
Guido Mora is showing 12th and starting from the pit lane. Looks like it's paid off for him.
Yeah, Guido won't want to get involved in the battle between these two.
No, I don't know what he can do really though. He'll surely have cars on the same lap as himself chasing him down as Eric Davis comes out of the pits. Great action so far though.
Yeah, it's what we said at the start of the race, that we felt that there was somebody for everybody in this league, and that there was always going to be some sort of battle going on somewhere. So it was a little shame that some of the guys are having to come through the pack at the same time, but hopefully everybody will give each other a little bit more room round 2 and be a little bit more aware. Ooh, and I think that's Ashley Butler going off there.
That's a big spin. Is he going to keep it out of the wall? No, he doesn't. So whether he'll be able to drive that back, I'm not sure. So we look at the Scotsman, John Monroe.
Hey, John's been in the wars a little bit as well, so the last thing he would have wanted to have seen was that car spinning off.
Eric Davis just come out of the pits. I think he's letting these guys through, so good driving from him. Nick Maynard 13th, so there are cars on different laps at this time, Alex, and you know, it can cause a few problems when the traffic, when you're not quite sure sometimes who you're racing and who you're not. Yeah,
it all gets a little tricky. Hopefully everybody be using their relative, and you know, people will know who's on what lap, and you know, the guys being on that will give way to those that are coming through, or well, more to the point as well, when you've got a fast guy coming through and you might be a lap ahead but somebody who's clearly faster, you know, it pays just to let them go rather than have them pressure you or forced to dive up the inside just to try and make place. You know, just move out of the way, let them go through, and you know, they're a lap behind you. They're not going to come up particularly quickly, so it's not going to lose you anything.
Unless you're really bad, they're not going to catch you, I don't think. Kevin Click then. This should be a good scrap with Alex Hardy.
It looks like he's got the run. Going to the outside though, Alex defending the inside. It always seems like the preferred method there. You know, if you can defend the inside, you should be right. Oh, and Kevin looked like he went a little bit wide there. The camera just cut off to the action we've got here with Luke. And,
forward chicane, it's very fast though, Alex, and it's very difficult to take the outside line and make that move stick. You've got to be almost in front of the other car to even attempt that, really.
We've got Sam in P3 here, coming up to...
It's a lapped car, isn't it?
Yeah, I believe it's one of the back markers there. And next car up the road is, looked like that was Ashley Butler as well, so... Luke and Ted still having this battle here, so, I mean,
I think that's Vim's car, isn't it? I think Vim Stockman's. Possibly, he was getting lapped there.
Could well have been, yep.
We're with John Monroe again.
B19 seems to be featured quite a lot today, so he's always having some sort of little battle. Kevin Click behind him.
Bit of action. John Monroe racing runs in his family. His father is a well-known hill climber, so he's obviously got it in the blood, which always helps, as you would know, being the son of the famous AJ Sims.
Exactly. Old AJ knew he knows how to set a car up. Just need to get him involved a bit so we can get a decent Indy set up for later on this month. So I know we're going to start working on a set very soon. So, and as usual, Team ARL will be dishing that out.
Yeah, hopefully dishing out some punishment as well on Indy 500 day, but well, that all remains to be seen as we come through to in lap 12 now.
Yeah, not far from the halfway point. The leaders, you know, haven't really. The gaps have stayed the same ever since that instant a few laps back, so
Everybody seems to be driving very cleanly though. A lot of considered driving going on, I would say.
yeah, I mean all the overtakes we've seen have been pretty good. I mean we saw that one with Wim and I can't think the Williams looking car.
Eric Davis.
Eric, that was the one. Sorry, apologies, Eric. There.
Who was just going through
just
as
come
we
through.
speak.
Yep. Wim and Eric. That's about the only other accident I've seen on track since the turn 1 or lap 1 crashes. So, no, in the most part, I think the drivers have been fairly sensible, and unfortunately, there's always not a lot of room in the first lap, and 30 cars is the most that anybody's had to drove it all week. So, perhaps that caught a few guys out. There's even less room than normal.
With this being quite an old track as well, been here since 1948, it's not particularly wide, and so overtaking is difficult. There are walls lining the track as well, very close. It's not your typical road course, is it? It's more of a street circuit in places with the way that the barriers are lined out.
Yeah, and I mean, I think there's some of the barriers are there because obviously the cup cars run here as well. So you know, I wonder if they.
You don't want them going off into a field somewhere, do you?
No, or into a tree or anything like that, or a big gravel trap. You know, they just collect. They're pretty used to hitting something solid. So.
They're pretty useless at getting out of gravel traps.
Yeah.
As we've seen in the past, in Finian especially, when you know they have a lot of trouble, but. It's one of those things, you know. But that's a good thing about this track. You make a mistake and you hit the wall, which encourages you to not make mistakes.
Yeah, it's ever so cost. I mean, the great thing, obviously, with iRacing over what we've seen with any of our previous leagues as well, is that you know we have physical damage on this. You know, the damage is pretty realistic. I mean, it's not 100%, but it's as close as you can get. Certainly not like the likes of F1. 2010 or 2011 where you know you can wallop something and still survive and things like that, or just break a wing and things like that. You know, we have suspension damage, wing damage and all sorts, and I don't mean just the wing falls off, where you can just bump the car in front and you know like an end plate will fall off, so you can feel the effect from that. So
yeah, every little slight damaging blow, it decreases the aero efficiency and the suspension tracking, things like that. And even though that the damage isn't, you know, we don't have any particle effects really or anything like that, it has the desired effect. You hit something and your race will be pretty much over. So that's the effect that they need to be going for as Alex Simpson pits. Yeah, and I noticed as well Kevin caught right up to him just as he pitted there, so not sure if Alex has had any issues there with tyres or anything like that, but he's in half distance,
halfway mark, so I would imagine he's going to go for a fresh set of tyres here, a little splash of fuel, and try and have a strong second half of the race. So. End pit box then for Team ARL. Beautiful looking car as well. Didn't get set down particularly well there, and
bouncing along. That's been weird.
I'm not quite sure. Almost like the rear jack didn't get out of there properly, but he's underway and he's off, and he rejoins in 8th place.
Not exactly a smooth release there, but it was a release nonetheless, as he's sent on his way with brand new tyres, so hopefully he can make some hay now with a bit of clear track in front of him. Be interesting to see how long Kevin Parrish stays out though, whether he'll definitely need some fuel, but how long is he willing to risk the tyres, I wonder.
Yeah, I guess this is the key phase really for Kevin. He's got a clear track in front of him at the moment. So does he push on and try and build a lap and hope that Alex gets caught in some traffic and can't, you know, use those tyres to the best of the ability? Obviously, Kevin's got the lighter car at this point as well because Alex has had the splash of fuel, so there's probably not going to be much difference between the lap times. So, you know, this is where strategy all comes into play. What does he do? Stay out, come in? Does he try and cover Alex off? I mean, he's behind him at the moment, so, you know, he got to take a risks every now and again so maybe he'll try something a bit different.
Wonder if it'll play into the hand of this man as well, Sam Kumo, who didn't have a very good, well, last few laps at least, but he now pits AC from 2nd place, so
yeah, he's obviously trying to cover Alex off. He doesn't want him to get any further away than he is already with the fresh tyres, so
should be the 3rd pit box for him.
Opting to pit in. Tim Doyle
It's a long-
finds himself in 11th place at the moment, so just seeing that on the ticker. So he's working his way up there, just getting a little bit more used to the car and the set and the feel. So
Pretty good effort from him, considering that he had to avoid all the meleeing on the first lap as well. So good
he's,
effort from Tim.
he's effectively learning the track as he goes. So and he just goes to show the man has got some serious ability there to turn up, and within a few laps he's lapping the same as what people are that have been practicing the track all week.
That's it. It's funny we mentioned that because we've been watching a lot of the IndyCar series, in the real life IndyCar series, and seeing that Rubens Barrichello making the switch from Formula 1. He seems to get faster as the race goes on. So obviously he's learning the car on the track all the time. I think that's what Tim Doyle's doing now as we go halfway through the race with Alex Harding. He's chasing someone down, looking to make a pass.
Yeah, it's Nick Maynard who he's actually behind at the moment. They're not on the same lap, but
No, 4 places difference, I believe. And there's John Munro behind. I think a lap. Is he a lap behind Alex as well?
I think he might be as well. So
He's on the same lap. I think he's on the same lap.
they're battling hard, but they're on different laps. So we just this is where it just might be just best for someone like Nick just to let Alex go. And we have a spinner there. There's a bit of smoke, and I'm not quite sure.
These guys are going to have to make their way through pretty carefully.
Yeah, and Nick again fighting Alex. So and Alex going wide, and this is
bit
going
of
to let John.
contact.
I think John's going to get both. And Alex comes on a little bit sharp there, and nearly
Almost
has,
took someone out there.
Yeah.
Do we have any word who the spinner was, or do we have any ideas?
Actually, I'm just hearing in my ear roll now. It's actually Tim. He's just gone. He just lost the car through that the right hander coming up the hill. Just lost it under acceleration. Backed it into the barrier and has escaped back to the pits. So we'll see if he makes it back out again. He'll be a bit frustrated with that. Probably just starting to get used to the car and getting a bit more confident, and just overcooked it coming out of there. And
He was looking at some good points, was Doyle, but unfortunately he's thrown those away. But hopefully, like I say, we'll get back out there. Just a quick mention, John Hill up there in 12th. That's a good start for him. He qualified 28th at AC, and he's up to 12th already.
Yeah, I mean, I should think he's set to get the high charger bonus points at this point. So massive improvement in position there. So he's kept himself out of trouble really well, and it just goes to show what you can do when you keep yourself clean and stay out of all the crashes and things like that. He's picked up absolute loads of places. So guys falling off in front of him, and he's reaping the reward from it. Thank you very much, he says.
Yeah, here's a couple of people who haven't managed to avoid the crashes so far.
Yeah, Andrew Woodhouse and John Monroe, is that behind him?
It is.
Yeah, both drivers know each other pretty well. Obviously raced each other in season 1 of the ARL Rookie Leagues. So they'll know what to expect, and probably both have a fair bit of trust in each other. So the one thing about league racing, obviously, once you start to drive with another driver week in, week out, you know what they're like and whether you can trust them on what they're going to do and what they're not going to do. So this is what some of the drivers will build the confidence around their teammates. And I think that's John going into the pits, is it, as we speak? Just mentioned it earlier. I think that was John pitting in. So Andrew going tight here,
that's
feeling the
allowed
need
John
to.
Munro to have a little run.
Oh. It has there. Sorry, and John round the outside there. It's a great move. It looks like Andrew tried to defend the inside, and John straight around. I think Andrew just clipped the barrier there as well.
That's not going to help him. I think he got a little bit bogged by John Hill coming into the pits. Just a slight lift was enough for John Munro to get the run there. But it was a good pass by the Scotsman.
Yeah, around the outside. Always brave to try it around the outside, but he managed to hold it on the exit and get a good run out of the corner, and that's basic. I think Andrew could have had a go back at him there, but he just clipped that wall on the way up, which probably stopped that little bit of slipstream that he had.
It could have been the turbulent air there, maybe affecting the car. causing him to push into the wall. As Luke Downing.
And Ted Stevens, I believe, having a...
Ted, yeah. Good old ding dong here at the S's.
Ted
Be
Sevens,
careful here,
sorry.
fellas. Ooh. There's not
Almost-
a lot of room there, as we just found out.
Yeah, almost a carbon copy of what we just saw with Andrew and John.
Now
Yeah,
is
Luke-
Luke going to pull out from the slipstream? Very, very short braking zone there, though. It's almost impossible to get through. Let's see, we join Kevin Parrish. Lap 19. Still hasn't pitted yet. He's got quite a big lead so far. So
As Kevin jumps into the pits here, so he's left it a few more laps, and it's all about whether or not the pit crew can get their business done before this man comes around.
it's only a couple of corners to go for Alex Simpson to get round. It's going to be tight.
He's coming basically into the last corner here. Kevin's in, and they didn't jack the
Revving the
car.
nuts off it.
They didn't jack the car up there, Andrew. So that's
No.
only fuel that he's taken. So he's had a splash of fuel, no tyres. That will certainly make that pit stop quite a bit quicker. So, and as you can see, he has indeed exit in front of Alex there. So
Splash and dash effectively for Parrish. We'll see if he pays for that later, as the tyres might be going off. But here's Luke Downing, still battling with Ted Sevens. Ted takes the defensive line into turn 1.
yeah,
Turn 1's quite good here though. It's very wide entry, and it's got a lot of runoff area as well. You can make passes there quite easily.
it has, but also as well, because you can get the power on quite early, it really opens it up so you can have a go going through to the
Yep.
bus stop here. I mean, as you can see, Luke's got a heck of a toe there, but couldn't quite manage to do it this time. But it definitely gives you the opportunity. If someone has a slightly bad turn 1, it really sets you up perfectly to get the slipstream through the S's, down that back straight, get yourself along the inside or around the outside, whichever you want to try.
Such a beautifully designed part of the track, that, isn't it? Slow corner followed by a long flat out run. That's how you get overtaking, and that's what we just saw there. It's a bit like, think of it as like coming off turn 8 at Turkey, and then a slow corner, and then a long straight. Provides tons of overtaking into that bus stop chicane.
Yeah, I think Ted is about the only person that Luke hasn't re-overtaken after he made that mistake on about lap 5, was it? I think, where he went
Big twitch there, yeah.
went across the chicane. So the bit between his teeth, he's managed to dispose of all the other guys, and these two have pulled away from that chasing pack, which you can just see in the background.
Nice looking skin. Is that extra car? You see? Bang tidy, you would say?
Yeah, bang tidy, indeed. And he looks very close here, coming into turn 1.
Yeah, see
Side
if
by
he can make a bang
side.
tidy move.
And he has that. I think
Has he
once
gone wide?
No, perfect.
really.
Perfect exit. It almost looked as once Luke got alongside, Ted was like, "Take it, son. I'm not gonna fight you
Yep.
for that. It's not worth losing my front wing or anything like that." And he's still got 10 laps remaining, so he's going to fight back later on. These guys have been so close on pace, and he's going to have a little digs and see if he can have a pop later on, I think.
Yeah, I think Ted had been driving quite defensively for the last few laps, so it might have been only a matter of time for Luke there. As we've got Nick Maynard, and the whole car off into the gravel, heavy into the wall. I'm not sure who that was.
Major crash there, I'm not sure.
Look, a white car. It could have been Kevin. Was it Kevin Click again? Not 100% sure on that one.
No, I'm not entirely sure as well, as we've got Jerome here with Oscar still behind him.
I think it could have been Kevin Click there. Not 100% sure though. Had to tell from that camera angle, quite a long shot.
Partridge, P10 there, just popped in, looked like he was having a battle as well, but Ted Sevens again. Yeah, there's nothing between these two on pace. I mean, Luke's got past, but he hasn't pulled away. So, I mean,
No.
I know it's still only the first lap, but typically when a driver's being held up, you see him jump that sort of good 1 to 1.5 seconds straight away.
Kurt Partridge in 10th. Briefly saw him.
Alex Simpson just coming up behind John Hill, and just having to check his line
dear
there
me.
just to get past the back marker, but
New pair of underwear required there for the Team ARL driver. That's not what you really need the back markers to do. You just need to, as we mentioned the other night in the Limerick Park race, which shall not be named. You know, you really do need to, if you're a back marker, just, you know, make one move and stick there.
yeah. To be fair, I mean, John come out of the corner wide and just stayed wide, but it's. I mean, coming out of a corner like that, I think the faster guys always expect most people to try and stay on line, so which is always to switch back to the left, and Alex would have just stayed right and sort of effectively done an overtake manoeuvre on him there. So, but yeah, there was enough time and enough room, and there was no collisions, so you know, he survived that one. I'm sure his heart rate jumped up a little bit there.
Yeah, nevertheless a hairy moment for him. But, you know, John's doing a good job. He's up there in 13th place, made a lot of positions up. I think he'll be, the last thing he'll want is a collision at this point, so we'll be taking it fairly easy in the last few laps, I would reckon. Luke Downey. P6.
Still holding on to that P6.
Yeah, Ted Sevens.
Have they gained a position each, Luke and Ted here? I thought they were 7th and 8th earlier on, but I might be mistaken.
Not 100% sure on that one.
Kevin
Check
Parrish
that one out.
behind Darren Kirk here.
Ah, Darren Kirk.
Staying over, letting the leader go through nicely. Just
We've been keeping an eye on Darren's pace, and it has been very consistent, AC. You know, we've had he was caught up in the first lap shenanigans, but he has driven a nice, careful race after that. Gained a few positions, up to P17, so that's a good outing for him, I think. Guido Mora there, the Italian.
Yeah, obviously started in the pit lane, so he'll be delighted with 8th place at the minute, just proving that it was the right thing to do for him. You know, stayed out of that trouble, and gonna get a
battle.
Gonna get a top 10 for it.
The battle here, Guido Mora. We under a little bit of pressure. The Italian.
Yeah, Nicholas Maynard. These guys have been battling for quite a few laps as well. Obviously, Luke broke away. Luke and Ted broke away. So, and their battle rages on.
Yeah, with 7 laps to go.
Again, Luke here looking like he's coming under pressure from Ted. Is Ted going to try the same move that Luke put on him?
Ted looks fast through the last couple of corners.
Has a little look, but thinks better of it.
No, not pulling out from the slipstream, so maybe setting him up into the bus stop. So here we go up the hill.
Needs to drop back a little bit more. I think Luke got a pretty decent exit out of there, but the slipstream will bring him back into play. Is Luke going to defend the inside line? We're not going to see. Yes, we are.
Oh, we're not. Are we? Yes, we are back with it. No, we're not.
No, we're not.
Nobody knows.
I'm sure we'll jump back with that in a minute, but Sam just taking a back marker. Luke's still in 6th place, so he didn't make it. So Nick Maynard there. Putting the pressure on.
Not sure who that is. Guido Mora, sorry.
Yeah, it's Guido Mora. Sorry, Guido there. I'm sure I'll learn everybody's name very shortly, so...
I was trying to work out who the white car was. Now I know. From Caroline. They were one of the top clubs in the World Cup that we competed in last season. Good rival to England there.
Yeah, it's nice to see him do a little bit of road racing, because I know in the World Cup, obviously they didn't feature very strongly, he didn't get any points or anything in the World Cup race, so, you know, just Nick here proving that they can drive and on the road circuits, and they can pick up the points as well.
Interestingly, is there anybody from DH in this race? Because obviously they're one of the top clubs, and it doesn't look like they've got a single representative in this field.
They haven't. No,
surprising.
There are a couple signed up to the league though, so.
Do you think with the road racing pedigree that DH possesses, that they would have jumped at the chance for a run at the English on this one here?
Yep, maybe we can goat them into taking part later on in the season. So. We have John Hill here.
They won't want to miss out on all fun.
I think Maynard still putting the pressure on. I think he can make a move up the inside here. It, you know, gives him all the room he needs. Probably sensible to do that there. So extremely difficult to defend once you've given up the inside line.
Guido Mora then, after starting from the pit lane. Alex, really creditable effort from him.
Yeah, he'll be delighted with this. I mean, we touched on it a little bit earlier, just really saying, you know, he thought that it was the right thing to do for him, avoid the trouble. You know, there was trouble. He avoided it perfectly. You saw him come up, just picking his way through the accident after that happened. So he probably thought to himself, I've just made absolutely the right call here. So, you know, he's lost ground to sort of the leaders, and you know, his pace has been pretty decent. So he could well have, he could well have featured in sort of the top 5, 6. Could have been up with Luke and Ted at this point, but you know, I think he'll be delighted with the points that he scored and the fact that he weren't involved in that mass crash, because he qualified right where it all kicked off around Wim and Kevin. So
got a slight timing error here, I think. The white flag has come out, but we haven't reached the race distance yet.
yeah, unfortunately, we're still waiting on the new version of IRTVO. So the race time has reached the 45-minute mark as of when we started gridding, so, and that's when it brings the white flag out. So just ignore that, guys. We are 5 laps to go, but we are running short on time. I'm not sure that the drivers are going to get full 30 laps in. It might get cut short on lap 29. Obviously the session capped at 45 minutes, as Kevin Parrish still leads from Alex Simpson, and the overlay just jumping around on times, but definitely you can see Alex is closing in the background now. 4 laps remaining, so down to 3.6. It seems to have stabilised itself there now. So
yep.
It was 5 seconds after the pit stop, so Alex has been chipping into that lead of Kevin, and that's probably the difference between a fresh set of tyres and an old set of tyres. So 4 laps, it's going to need to be taking about 7/10 of a second out of him just to make this work.
Yeah, it's working very well for Parrish at the minute, taking no tyres. I have to say, that was a very, very good decision.
Yeah, he called it.
I think it gave him the breathing space he needed.
I think he wanted track position, you know, that's the thing, he's got the track position now. I guess he realises that Alex and himself are extremely close on pace, and while he's going to be giving up a little bit of lap time because of the fresh rubber, he feels that probably he'll be able to defend Alex once he gets up to him. It's one thing catching, but it's another thing passing. So I mean, with 4 laps to go and he's not caught him yet, so he's only going to have 1 lap at best to do it. And you know, we saw Kevin obviously stay behind Alex for a good sort of 10 or so laps and couldn't get past, so it's going to be difficult if he can get up to him.
Yep.
Having a quick look at his lap time as he crosses the line there, or 1:32.1, so he's still lapping extremely well. And Alex a 1:31.5, so I mean that's the 7/10 of a second that he needs.
We did see that Kevin was kept behind by Alex at the start of the race, so if Alex does get up there, like you say, it's going to be quite difficult for him to make a pass, although maybe the tyre disparity will account for that. But yeah, 1:31.5, that's blistering.
Yeah, I think
excellent.
The main thing with the fresh tyre at this point is that he'll have better drive out of the corners, so that'll give Alex the ability to have that run on Kevin. So if he can get up to him before the last lap coming into turn 1, then he's going to have a shot on perhaps down the back straight into the bus stop, and then coming out of this corner which he's about to approach now, coming out of there and then going into the hairpin right. There's going to be his 2 best chances, so he's just got to absolutely nail it. The next couple of laps, we're going to need to see some qualifying lap pace here, just for him to get back. And as we just have a quick,
he's not crawling around, don't worry.
Yeah, super slow-mo, taking every little bit of track possible and a bit of grass there. I'm sure that's going to be an off-track for that.
But at this point, you might as well go for it. Hell for leather. It's only a couple of laps left for the Englishman. It's been a terrific effort either way by both of these men.
Yeah, we did say that strategy may play a cool, you know, pay a big barn. 31.470 there, so he's definitely piling on the pressure on Parrish here. And there's been two very different strategies. We've got a splash and dash later on in the race, and we've got a fresh set of rubber and a halfway pit stop. So, you know, totally different. And they're gonna, amazingly, they're gonna end up on the last lap being almost side by side, I would think.
Parrish looks extremely cool there. Now coming up to a tiny bit of traffic here, it shouldn't affect them too much.
Yeah, it is actually Alex's teammate, Andrew there, so that might well play into Alex's heart. I'm sure there'll be some team orders going on now over at the on TeamSpeak, the ARL team channel there. I'm sure Alex was saying just subtly try and hold him up, please.
I wonder if he's going to try and oblige.
Obviously, ARL rules will dictate that he does get out of the way, but he'll have a few corners before he has to do that. So, as long as he plays within the rules, nothing will come of that. But it might just well help AC out here.
And forward house, he has recovered from the early mess on the first lap to 16th place. So I think he'll be reasonably happy with that. He probably will finish 2 laps down, but it's not bad to say he lost almost a whole lap with the first, like I say, the accident at turn 1.
Alex here getting ever closer. I'm not sure he's got enough time. I think he's only just going to be able to catch him this lap, and that's if he even can. But because the white flag has actually come out at this point, and we are 1 lap early, so the drivers are only going to finish 29 laps of the 30. So Alex will be a little bit frustrated that they haven't had that additional lap to catch up. So I think the strategy is paid into Kevin's hands perfectly here.
He has looked very good all the way through, though. It's funny because he was throwing it all over the place in qualifying, but he's actually, once the race has happened, he's decided to settle down. He's had a bit of sickness this weekend as well.
Yeah,
so
I mean
that makes it even better, really. The
exactly.
achievement.
Yeah, I mean he's drove such a fantastic race. Not really put a foot wrong, and he's not feeling the ticket as well. I know he's all close up to his eyeballs at the minute. Oh. So as Andrew has a little blink, that'll make him panic as he comes around here the last few corners.
Could make it interesting though.
Team ARL obviously just trying to hold him up a little bit, but gets out the way down the straight. Kevin comes across the line to take the victory here. Fantastic race from him.
Yeah, brilliant. Especially with his sickness, it was a tremendous effort. Alex Simpson was extremely gallant in defeat there, but great strategy by Parrish, you have to say.
Yeah, the strategy won there completely. So, and we're just hearing on the team radio that the drivers have actually radioed each other to say that even though the official race distance is going to be 29 laps, they're going to go one more just to see if Alex could catch up. But I think Kevin's still got enough on the bag, but just a little bit of an extra bonus for you guys. We go that 1 lap or more, so this will be the fastest ever parade lap from the top 2.
Yeah, we promise we will sort this out for the next race, the race distance, but yeah, it's looking like Kevin Parrish would have held on. Would have been reasonably close though.
Yeah, I think perhaps 1 or 2 more laps, say 32 laps, and Alex might have had him, but I don't think on the official distance. I think Kevin got the strategy absolutely spot on in the end. So, and Sam wasn't too far back in the end as well. I mean, as they crossed the line on lap 29, they only finished 5 seconds behind Kevin. So, but indeed, just on the official 30-lap length as well, Kevin taking the line first from Alex. So, and you can see Sam in the background as well. Did that extra lap just to see what he could do. 2 drivers park up on the side of the track here, and
well, the final results then. Kevin Parrish won by 1.5 seconds only in the end. tyre gamble paid off on that one for him. Sam Kumo was only 5.5 behind, like you said. Jeroen Ganterveld, he was 20 seconds behind in fourth, but a good result for him. Oscar Hardwick, he'll be happy with fifth. Luke Dowding, sixth. Then Ted Sevens, Nicholas Maynard, Kirkpatrick, Liam Williams, Guido Mora, he was 11th in the end, but he was 8th, so he must have had a little drama at the end. Josh Hammett was a lap down in 12th. John Hill, excellent 13th from the back. Russell Larson, 14th. Alex Harding, 15th, started 18th, so not bad. Woodhouse, 16th. Darren Kirk made up 10 positions from his grid start. Jamie Byrne, 18th. And Wim Stockmans, Aaron Mullen, Eric Davis, John Monroe, Kevin Click, Sasso Prosen, Tim Doyle, Ashley Butler, Sam Peacock, Ian Partridge, Kevin Veckermans, and Mike Eldridge did not start the race. There's been a terrific effort here from all the drivers involved. AC, we've enjoyed it, and we'll be back next week. The Camping World Truck Series starts, and the following week IndyCar Round 2 at Road America. So it's goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me, and we'll see you next time.
We will be racing here in Monte Carlo. Look, but never stare. And we're away. And it looks like a good start by Pilkey and Batchelor looking for a way through the Ferrari and Warrior in second place. He's flagging all over the track there.